Good morning, Lena. I hope you're enjoying your day at work so far. I wanted to make sure I had your work schedule correct. I believe you said that you were working until noon today. Is that right? What would you like to have for lunch? I was just about to start cooking, so if you have any requests, I'd be glad to hear them.
Hey, Mom. I'm sorry, I meant to message you about this earlier, but I got busy. A few hours ago, the person who was supposed to be working this afternoon called in sick. And I'll give you one guess who the boss asked to stay and make up for them.
Oh no, not again.
You guessed it, none other than yours truly. Just my luck.
I suppose this means you won't be home for lunch then.
Yeah, but it gets worse. Unless one of the evening shift people decides to come in early, I'm probably gonna have to stay here until around 6 p.m.
I'm concerned about you, dear. Are you all right? It seems to me that you've been working far too much these days.
No, don't worry about me, I'm fine. It's not like I'm working on a construction site or anything, I'm just the cashier at a convenience store.
Well, if you say so. But what are you going to do for lunch? Will you be able to take a break? Tell me they're not going to make you work straight through to the evening.
No, don't worry. This place is really mindful of labor laws. I just got on break now, so I grabbed a couple sandwiches from the shelves and a can of pop.
Well, that's good to hear. You can't work on an empty stomach. And you've already been working for several hours. I'd hope they give you a break. Without one, you never make it to the evening.
Right? Oh, and by the way, I had a favor to ask of you. Could I have you do a few things for me that I was planning on doing this afternoon?
Of course, dear. What can I do for you?
I put a load of laundry in the washer this morning. Could you hang them up on the line for me? Also, I have a couple things that I'd like you to pick up from the store, if you have time.
That's no trouble at all. You just leave everything around here to me and focus on your work, dear.
I'm so sorry to have to ask you to do so much for me. What would I do without you, Mom?
I'm glad to help out whenever I can. After all, we're living in the same house. It's only natural that we help each other out when we need it. And would you like me to cook dinner for you as well?
Would you mind?
Not at all.
Oh, I feel so bad about this. That's 3 things now that I'm having you do for me. I bet you wish your son would have married a less demanding woman.
Don't be silly, Lena. You're all that I could have asked for. And for the record, I absolutely love cooking for you. No one compliments my food as much as you do. Not even that son of mine. It's like pulling teeth to get that boy to give me a simple thank you.
I have to admit, you're exactly right about him.
I'm incredibly grateful to you, Lena. Dylan can hardly hold down a job for more than a few months at a time. I love my son dearly, but, well, sometimes I'm just not sure what to do with him. But you stay firmly loyal to him in spite of all of that. You're truly a wonderful daughter-in-law, Lena.
Oh, don't be too hard on Dylan. He's not all bad.
He isn't. I'm sorry, I just couldn't resist. I'm sure that you know more about his good side than even I do. I shouldn't be talking ill of your husband to you like this.
Nah, don't feel bad. If you think that's bad, you should hear the way I talk about him to his face.
Oh dear, you crack me up, Lena.
I'm good, aren't I? But yeah, to be honest, I know that Dylan has caused a lot of trouble for you over the years. So I totally understand where you're coming from. I don't blame you at all. And now it's not just him. I'm on the receiving end of your generosity too. I wish there was some way I could pay you back for your kindness.
You don't need to do anything but continue being the delightful woman that you are. I don't consider it a burden at all to have you living in my house with me. I'm honestly surprised you were so willing to move in with your own mother-in-law so soon after getting married. If my husband, God rest his soul, had asked me to live with his parents, I might have up and divorced him right then and there.
Oh, trust me, I wouldn't have done this if it were anyone but you, Mom. You're the best mother-in-law a girl could ask for.
Now, Lena, flattery isn't going to get you a bigger piece of pie at dinner.
It's not flattery, it's the truth. Ah, whoops, look at the time. Sorry, Mom, I gotta get back to work now.
Oh, my goodness, is it that time already? I'm sorry, I ate up your entire break.
Don't worry about it at all. It was nice to talk to you and get my mind off work. And the fact that I still have another several hours to go. But anyway, I'll talk to you later on tonight. See you later, Mom. Hi there, Mom. Are you on the road right now?
Good afternoon, dear. I was just about to get in my car just now. I think I'll be back at the house in about an hour or so.
I'm sorry I couldn't come along and help you clean out your aunt's old house. It must have been difficult doing all that work by yourself.
Oh, I wasn't alone. One of my cousins came along to help as well.
Oh, really? Well, that's great to hear. Many hands make light work, as they say.
Indeed. Also, it makes the time go by quicker to have someone to talk to. If it weren't for her, I probably wouldn't have even been finished with the kitchen at this point. But with the house all cleaned out, I won't have to come by here again. I believe the real estate company will take care of the rest. But thank goodness, too. It's terribly far to have to keep coming down here several times a year.
I'm sorry your aunt passed away.
It was her time, Lena. She's in a better place now. She's been sick for some time, so it's honestly a bit of a relief for the family that her suffering is over.
Is there anything I can do to help you out with the funeral? I can make sandwiches for the luncheon, anything you want.
You are such a generous girl, Lena. But no, you don't need to worry about a thing. It just so happens another of my cousins runs a funeral home, so we're having him take care of everything.
Wow, you sure do have some good connections.
Now, would you like me to pick up something from the store on my way back? My cousin gave me a lovely basket of vegetables from her garden to thank me for helping, but this isn't quite enough to make a meal. Do you need anything from the store, or can I come right home?
No, that's okay. I'm working on fixing dinner myself right now. It should be hot and ready by the time you get home. It's something I've never made before, so I hope you like it.
I can't wait.
Also, once you get home, there's something that I wanted to talk to you about. Well, really, it's just something that I thought you should know.
Is that right? Well, that makes me curious. Is it something you can't tell me by text?
No, not really, I guess.
If that's the case, then could you go ahead and tell me right now? The anticipation is going to kill me on my way home.
All right, if that's what you want. It's about Dylan.
Oh dear. What has that boy done this time? It doesn't involve the police, does it?
No, it's not that serious, although it is pretty serious. Dylan came home from work early a while ago.
I see. And
when I asked him why, he said that it's because he quit his job today.
oh no. He quit his job again? That's the third time this year.
I know. I'm really sorry about this, Mom.
No, Lena, you don't have anything at all to apologize. I'm the one who should be apologizing to you. You don't deserve to deal with my son's foolishness. Goodness gracious, what has gotten into that boy? He promised me that he would be able to keep his job, but he didn't even last 2 months.
He told me that it was because he and his boss got into an argument.
Dear me, why am I not surprised? That boy is going to give me a heart attack, honestly. It would be one thing if he were being mistreated by his coworkers or forced to work in unpleasant conditions. But I don't think he's ever quit for a respectable reason. It's always some nonsense like there aren't any good restaurants nearby or the air fresheners in the bathroom smell too strongly.
It gets worse, though. I didn't know this, but apparently he was skipping work a lot these last few weeks. So even when he gets his paycheck, it's probably not even going to be half of what he usually brings home.
Oh, Dylan. Thank you for telling me about that, Lena. I can cover all of our living expenses for the time being. Don't you worry about a thing.
No, I can't ask you to do that for us. That's too much. You've already done so much to support us. I've been talking to my boss, and I think I might start working full-time in order to bring in more money while Dylan looks for work.
Nonsense. You'll do no such thing. You're going through fertility treatments, Lena. And you're already working overtime so frequently. I'm afraid of what impact going full-time will have on your health.
It's all right, Mom. At this rate, even if I do manage to get pregnant, we won't be able to support the baby once they're born.
I suppose you do have a point. Listen, Lena, you are an incredibly smart, hardworking, respectful woman. And you're still quite young, too. You've still got your entire life ahead of you, as much as it pains me to say something like this. Are you sure you want to stay together with Dylan? I wouldn't begrudge you at all if you decided that you want to leave.
I'm not concerned about myself, Mom. I'm more concerned about what would happen to Dylan if I were to leave him.
You don't need to do that, though. You know how grateful I am for the support that you've given to Dylan since the two of you have been together. But that's not a burden that you need to hear. I understand that you're concerned about his future, but I think you should think about yours. This is something that a mother should never say, but I don't think that Dylan is ever going to get himself together. The only reason I even allow him in my house is because you're with him. If not for that, I'd kick him out in a heartbeat.
You really think so?
I do, Lena. Again, I'm sorry for talking ill of your husband like this, but if you're planning on remaining married to him, then it's going to require an awful lot of work from both of us. If things don't change for Dylan very quickly, and I doubt they will, then we'll never be able to depend on him for a stable income. That means it'll be up to you and me to support all three of us.
I'm so sorry that you have to worry about all of this.
Stop apologizing, dear. It's that good-for-nothing Dylan who ought to be apologizing. But remember, my savings will only go so far before they dry up completely. I can't support all of us forever. You need to think about that before you make your decision to stay with him.
I see. Thank you for being honest with me, Mom. I'll do some thinking about what you told me. Could you give me just a little time to come up with an answer?
Lena, open up the door this instant.
You know that's not happening.
What's the meaning of this? I was shocked when I came home to discover that you had placed all of my things down by the road. But the moment I stepped inside, you stole my keys from me and pushed me back out? I don't understand. Are you trying to kick me out of my own house?
Trying? Seeing as though I'm inside and you're not, I'd say it was a complete success. Don't sell me short.
Explain yourself, Lena. I want answers.
It's simple. I've decided to unilaterally terminate our arrangement. I don't want to live with you anymore.
But why, Lena? Why?
Do I have to spell it out for you? You've completely run out of money.
What? What do you mean?
Don't play dumb with me, Mom. I know that you're broke. While you went out to the store just now, I took the liberty of checking your bank account balances.
You what? You took my ATM card.
Yep, and the balances of your account was, for all intents and purposes, 0.
I can't believe you would do such a thing without asking me. You mean to tell me that you're kicking me out of the house because I don't have any more money?
Why do you think we agreed to move in with you in the first place? Do you actually think we enjoyed your company? You think we wanted to spend the best years of our lives tied down to some old woman? No, it was only because you had money to burn. And boy, did we burn it. Thanks to your generosity, we were able to do whatever we wanted, whenever we wanted. I have taken so many vacations with your money, I've forgotten everywhere I've been.
I don't understand. You said you were working all this time. When did you have the time to take all those vacations?
Oh my God. Did you really think that I was working? Oh, working is for losers.
No. So you were only pretending to go to work all this time? But then, where did you get the money to pay your share of the groceries and utilities?
Where do you think? From you. You remember how I came crying to you about how hard we were trying to have a baby, but just couldn't conceive? You offered to pay for our fertility treatments. So we were getting a couple $1,000s a month from you in addition to the money I was taking from your account.
I don't believe this. You were lying about going through fertility treatments too? But what about the doctor's note you showed me saying you were infertile?
It was fake, you idiot.
So, you're really not infertile?
Hell if I know. I don't want kids. I've never even gotten tested. Why would I want to tie myself down with kids when I was having so much fun with your money?
And Dylan, am I right in assuming that he was aware of your deception?
Of course he did. Who do you think came up with the idea of living off your money in the first place? It was all him. He's the one who came up with the idea to fake getting fertility treatments, too.
But why? Why would you lie to me like this? It doesn't make any sense. I've been nothing but generous to you. I invited you into my home. Everything that I had was yours. I thought of you as more than just a daughter-in-law, Lena. You were every bit my real daughter. So why? Why would you betray me?
Look, Mom, it's very simple. You have no idea how hard things are for our generation. Job market sucks, the housing market sucks, the stock market is beyond our reach. Like, I don't think anyone I know will ever own their own home. Meanwhile, what are you old people doing? Nothing. Abso-freaking-lutely nothing. All you do is sit in your house that's completely paid off already so you don't have to pay rent. Collect your Social Security checks, which my generation is paying for despite the fact that we will never get it back. And spend your money on doctor's visits and whatever other random crap you want. Do you have any idea how much the government spends on you oldies every year? Well, I'm not putting up with that. I'm not participating in a BS system that only exists to extract resources from me and pump them into people who are going to die within a few years anyway. I'm going to tear down that system brick by brick. And I'm going to start by taking what's left of your assets. You don't need or deserve them anymore.
So that's it? You were really after my money from the very beginning?
Didn't you think it was a bit suspicious when I was so enthusiastic about living together with you? The signs were all there. It's your fault for being so dense that you couldn't see them.
I expected that my son may someday pull a stunt like this. But I thought better of you, Lena. I thought you were different. I suppose I thought wrong.
You are way too trusting, Mom. Seriously. I mean, my God, I didn't even have to do any work at all to sell all the lies I told you. You ate them all right up. I was hoping to keep up the facade a little while longer. We were actually planning to keep on living with you like this for about 5 more years or so. But man, your money started disappearing faster than I ever expected. And like I said, it's now close enough to 0 that I don't see any reason to keep you around anymore.
I see.
Oh, and just to cut you off, don't even think about playing the victim here. You were planning on doing the exact same thing to us that we're doing to you now. We just pulled it off better.
What are you talking about?
Oh, come on. What's the point in hiding it anymore? You were planning on forcing us to support you when your pathetic retirement account finally ran out, weren't you?
That's not true at all. I know my son better than you do. Did you really think I was going to count on him to support me? I'm not foolish enough to do that. No, the reason I invited the 2 of you to live with me was because I was concerned about you, Lena. I wanted to do whatever I could to ensure you didn't need to worry about food or shelter.
Aw, aren't you sweet? It's too bad that sweet nature of yours is exactly what made it so easy to trick you.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, so are we done here? You get what's going on? You're completely useless to us now that you're broke, so we're kicking you out of our house. Oh, and you can go ahead and write us out of your will if you want. God knows you're not going to have anything to leave behind when you finally die.
Is that so? If that's what you want, then that's exactly what I'll do. You might just come to regret those words, though.
What reason would I possibly have to regret anything? We won, you lost. It was a total victory. Now, we're going to sell this massive house of yours and live off that money for another couple years.
You're going to sell the house? That's impossible, though. I already sold it.
What?
I already sold the house. I signed the contract with the real estate company a week ago. I waited 3 whole months for Dylan to get a job, but as far as I could tell, he wasn't even looking. And yes, I was fully aware of how quickly my savings were dwindling. I decided to sell the house in order to produce enough money for me to give some to the 2 of you to help you find a new place to live. Then after that, we would part ways. I've looked after Dylan for almost 30 years now. I can't keep treating him like a child.
But this is the first I'm hearing of this plan.
That's because I deliberately didn't tell you about it. I couldn't risk Dylan finding out that I was going to be receiving a massive influx of money now, could I? Sure, I trusted you to keep a secret until a few moments ago, but there was always a chance that you would let it slip. Now that the house has been sold, I was planning on telling you about the whole situation this evening. So I truly appreciate your honesty. If you hadn't gone and kicked me out of the house just now, I might not have known about your true nature until it was too late. It seems as though God is still watching out for me after all.
But what about the deed? The deed is still over here and you're safe. You can't sell the house without the deed, and I will never give it to you.
You can check in the safe if you'd like. It's not there. I took it over to the real estate agent this morning.
Oh. Well, can we talk about this? I'll open up the door for you. You can come inside. I'll even help you carry all your stuff back to your room. Let's all sit down and have a nice family conference about this, okay?
I'm afraid I can't do that.
Why not?
Because I'm already in a taxi, driving away from the house. It's terribly chilly this evening. If I stayed outside any longer, I was afraid I'd catch a cold. The two of you need to hurry up and pack your things as soon as possible. The real estate company will be here to change the locks in just a few weeks.
Mom, are you there? Please pick up the phone. I need to talk to you about Dylan. This is serious.
Stop attempting to contact me, Lena. There's not a thing you can say to make me change my mind.
I know, but Dylan is in big trouble.
I see now that it was a mistake not to block you the very night that I left the house. And I will be remedying that mistake shortly. You need to be out of that house by the deadline the real estate company gave you. I have nothing else to say to you.
Please, don't block me yet. I'm begging you. It won't take long, but I really need to tell you something.
Make it quick.
Dylan is really deep in debt.
He borrowed money again? That boy never learns. I'm not surprised in the least. After all, he's enough of a louse to steal money from his own mother. I thought you were aware of his true nature.
So did I, but it turns out that he wasn't completely honest with me.
Oh, you poor thing. Is that all? Can I block you now?
No, not yet. I need help. What am I supposed to do about all this? We don't have any way to pay back this much money.
And you thought you could come to me for help? You really are shameless, aren't you? You'll have to figure it out by yourselves.
We can't. That's why I'm talking to you right now. Look, we're really, really sorry for stabbing you in the back, Mom. You were nothing but good to us, and we betrayed you, but please, can't you please help us out one last time? Dylan took out a ton of money because he thought he could pay it back after selling your house.
That was rather stupid of him, wasn't it? It's not my problem, though, and it doesn't have to be your problem either. You could always leave him. It's his debt, not yours.
If I could, I would.
Uh-oh, why can't you leave him?
He made me his guarantor on the loan. He even forged my signature on the forms. If I divorced Dylan and he skipped town, then the bank would come after me next.
My goodness. That was underhanded of him.
Right? I'm his wife. I never thought he would do something like that to me.
He did the same thing to me several years ago.
Really?
Indeed, the exact same thing. He took out a loan and forged my signature. I had to pay off the entire thing.
Wow. Isn't there a way I can prove that it wasn't my signature?
Been there. Done that. I believe you'll find that the lawyer's fees alone will cost you more than the amount of his debt like I did. And forgery is just about the only thing Dylan's good at, so you'd be hard-pressed to prove your case.
So I'm stuck then. Oh, please, Mom, I promise I'll pay you back. You got money from selling the house, right? Just a little bit of that would be fine.
Sorry, Lena, but I've fallen victim to far too many of your lies to trust you anymore. For all I know, this is no different than your fertility treatment.
I'm not lying this time. I can show you the contract.
I'm not interested in seeing it. Even if the contract is real, I don't want to pay Dylan's debts for him.
I should never have trusted him.
There's no honor amongst thieves, as the saying goes. If I may make a recommendation, once you manage to pay off his loan, I suggest you divorce him as quickly as possible.
You don't have to tell me twice. I want to get rid of him as soon as possible. So, can't you give me a little money to make that happen? Just a little bit?
Don't make me repeat myself any more than I already have. I'm not giving either of you anything, not one single cent. And it's too late for apologies, so don't bother. You know, this is strangely relieving for me. With this, I can walk away from the two of you without any regret. Thank you, Lena. This never would have happened if you hadn't kicked me out of my house. The two of them ended up leaving town that very night. It seems Dylan borrowed a rather large amount of money, though, so I doubt they'll let him get away for long. As for me, I'm sure you're concerned about my finances, but not to worry. The truth is that I hid most of my assets in a separate account before Dylan and Lena moved in, and all of that money is still safe and sound. I learned not to trust my son when he forged my signature on that loan contract years ago, and I wasn't about to be robbed by him a second time. It did hurt me deeply to be betrayed by Lena, who I was sure I could trust. But as I told Lena before, her treachery was what finally freed me from Dylan's clutches, so in the end, I'm glad things happened the way it did. From now on, I hope to spend my remaining time on this earth in peace and quiet.